What's up guys, this is Casey from Casey's Customs, and in this video we are going to be finishing the chop on this 55 Ford F100.
Hey, sitting like a boss, bring the workers out. Press on the exhaust, we be skirting now. No, we not the same, what you talking about? Got me all up in your mentions, must have heard around. How that sound, yeah, that sound good. Break it down, ice the Wendy's in your town. Don't forget the dollar sign. How that sound, yeah, that sound good. Tell them get in line. Hold it down, came up from the under.
If you didn't see the first part of the video, I'll go ahead and put that in the link in the description so you can check it out. What we did, we took 2.5 inches out of it. Not too crazy, not anything wild. You know, I didn't want this to just look like a chop truck. You know, when you start getting 4 inches and stuff on these, the first thing you notice is it's a chop truck. This is just kind of bringing it down enough to kind of help the lines out, kind of keeping everything proportional. So, in the first video, I got probably 50-60% of the way done. This video, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the way. Check it out. Hopefully you pick up some tips just in case you want to tackle a project like this yourself. Or if you just want to see how people go about doing it, you want to see how I go about doing it rather. So, let's go ahead and get to the footage and get to finish up this bad boy. First thing you want to do on any chop before you get crazy, start getting your cutoff wheels out and start ruining things. You want to get everything braced up as best you can. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to put 20 braces in there. You don't have to spend a whole day bracing it. You don't have to build a roll cage basically, but you do want some side to side, some back to backs just to keep everything from coming in. When the roof isn't on, not so much width wise, but front to back, everything just wants to cave in on itself. So we got to get that braced up before we start cutting any of this off. So let's do that. So I got my tape line where I'm going to cut it, but a lot of times when you're cutting, the tape will come off. So make sure you use a permanent marker around it. We chopping this motherfucker, baby. Let's go. So I got these rear pillars tacked, got that tacked. This is loose here. I had to open that up just a scooch. So I'm gonna put a strip in there, and then we're gonna head down to my other shop with an English wheel and roll us out a piece I can put right back here, up under here to get all this up, and it'll fill that little gap right there. For now, let's put this little bitty guy in here. This thing's only like a 1/2 inch, but it still needs fixed. We got our chopped and we got the top back on. Just gotta do some fill-in stuff. Gotta fill this in and gotta fill that in. But I got a little piece tacked in here for now. Coming along. Once I get the roof done, I can finish up the doors. Good burp. I can finish up the doors, and then we will slap the rear window back in there. I like the lines of it so much better already. It just flows a lot better. All right, let's go to the English wheel, baby.
One eternity later.
I think that's good for now, baby. Check and see how our piece fits. Is that the right one? Pretty friggin' happy with that. Especially considering that's just my first fit straight off the English wheel. I'm real happy with that. Got to do some trimming on here, obviously. We'll mark this and cut this out. That way you don't have a bunch of shit underneath. You always want these butt welded. You want them butt welded, but if you can't butt weld it, you want as little of an overlapping seam as you can. I always try and butt weld. Sometimes you can't, you know, sometimes even like factory seams, you know, aren't butt welded. They got a section where the stuff comes together, but it's always best to try and butt weld it if you can. Looks like I got the shape pretty damn good. So now that I got this piece basically where I want it, I'm gonna go ahead and stick some sheet metal screws in it to hold it exactly in place. Then I can get it marked and I'll know where to cut. you'd think, well, I got it kind of clamped in here. I'll just mark it now and cut it. You'd be surprised how much stuff can kind of wiggle here and there just as you're kind of moving around and, you know, holding stuff down and checking fitment. So it's easy just to screw the bitch in. Then you know it can't go anywhere. Then after I trim these corners and do whatever, I'll have these bolt holes left where I can just screw it right back in. I'll know it's in the exact same place. Then I can start welding it up. So let's screw it in. We got that all cut out. Some people might be asking, Casey, why did you cut this big of a hole in the roof when you only needed to, you know, the gap was only about that much originally. Well, the more you can spread this piece out, the better it is as far as keeping everything level. In case there's, you know, in case this is a little bit high, this is a little bit short, whatever, it's a lot easier to have a big transition versus just a little one. A lot of guys will actually just reskin the whole roof. They'll just take another cab and cut it and put the whole roof on. I'm not a huge fan of that. A lot of times when you have two roofs on, they kind of are like competing versus crown and blah, blah. I just like to do it this way instead. But the bigger this piece is, the flatter you know your roof will be. Luckily this is pretty solid right here, so I felt fine cutting it right here. And everything lines up perfect when that piece is on. So let's put that bad boy back on there. Got a good stopping point on the roof. There's probably like 10 full hours of work I'll have to do on that, smoothing it out, welding it, hammering it, welding it back and forth. I'm not gonna videotape all that, it's pretty boring. So we're gonna move on to the rear window. We gotta put that bitch back in there. Got the back window done. Now it is time to start on the doors. Gotta do a lot of cutting and stretching on this bitch. Thank you guys very much for watching. As you can see, I got about 95% of the way done. I still have a couple little spots in the door that I have to fill in. And then also I have a bunch of metal work to do, just getting my panels fitting up a little bit better. Everything's pretty much just tacked right now. I'll have another 10 to 20 hours in lining up my panels, filing them, grinding them, making sure everything's butt welded perfect, and then welding it all up. It's pretty boring to watch though. I'm sure anybody that's ever watched anybody weld something has seen plenty of video of that. So I'm gonna save it for that. That's pretty much it for this. This is how I go about them. There's a million different ways to chop a truck or car, everything. The main thing is just making sure everything lines up real well, making sure everything flows real well. And if for some reason something doesn't look right to you, don't be afraid to cut it off, put it back on until you like the way it looks. When I was younger and I've probably done 40 or 50 chops now. The first couple I did, I kind of just thought everything had to be how it was when you put it back together. I took 2 inches out and I put it all back, and now that's just work. Well, sometimes stuff just doesn't lean right, sometimes stuff just doesn't flow right. Don't be afraid to cut it up a little bit here or there if you need to. So, thank you very much. Please like, share, subscribe, all that stuff they tell you to do at the end of videos, and check out some more of my other videos. I build all kinds of cool shit like this. Peace.
Hey, sitting like a boss, bring the workers out. Press on the exhaust, we be skirting now. No, we not the same, what you talking about? Got me all up in your mentions, must have heard around. How that sound, yeah, that sound.